Well, we are live on late Friday afternoon on the West Coast, and thank you for joining me. Sorry about the rocking there, a little bit back and forth, getting ready for a good weekend here in the Pacific Northwest. Hey, everybody, Mike Ferreri, Windermere Agent in Seattle, queuing in here on living in Western Washington 425. What a week it has been weather-wise out here in Seattle. Terrific. And the big part of this week that I've thoroughly enjoyed and always get excited for, I know a lot of you do out there as well who are football fans, is this was training camp week for the majority of the teams. Now, I know the Kansas City Chiefs started earlier than a lot of folks, but the Seattle Seahawks took the field on Wednesday for their training camp under new head coach Mike Macdonald. So what does this have to do with real estate? Well, I covered the NFL for 25 years working at Channel 4 in Seattle, Como TV, 21 there, 4 years previously at the Fox in Memphis, where we covered the Oilers/Titans. That was an experience. Eddie George, one of the best players ever. Javon Curse, one of my favorite guys. Anyways, I sat there during a seller presentation about 2 weeks ago, and I have what I call the 3 Ps, which we've discussed here before: preparation, price, and presentation. And I just kept thinking, wow, this is just like an NFL training camp, like an NFL coach getting his team ready for the season ahead. Really, that is what happens when you're getting your home ready to list to go on the market. And a lot of people don't know where to begin. And so where you always begin is the preparation. And Russell Wilson got a little weird here in Seattle and ended up popping around. I know he's with Pittsburgh now, but there is separation in the preparation. I couldn't agree more. Russell said that. He swore by it, and he's 100% correct. So preparation when it comes down to the house is really where we begin the process of getting the home ready to go on the market. And that's day one of training camp. You have 2 weeks before your first preseason game, about 2 weeks, maybe a little longer. And that's where they begin the process of getting that team ready for the first regular season game of the year and that long season ahead. So the big thing I tell folks is that your home is not ready to go on the market right away. Well, an NFL team is not ready to go on the field right away. That's why you have a month of training camp games or preseason games that are really no one likes, but these guys are competing for their livelihood. It's a big deal to them. And so that's what that month and a half is about, really, from when they begin training camp on this past Wednesday all the way up through the final preseason game. And so that's how you have to properly prepare your team. So there's a lot of things with your house that you need to properly prepare to get on the market for that season opener, which is really your first weekend on the MLS. What does that include? Deferred maintenance, general upkeep, making sure things are cleaned up, picked up, ready to grow, ready to roll. It needs to be a tight ship and just ready for action, ready for game time, separation, and the preparation. And so that involves decluttering, sprucing up the yards, and purging any excess items. So decluttering, I remember Pete Carroll always talked about a lot. You got to focus on that one thing that's ahead of you, and that is the season ahead. You got to shut everything out. That was for a long time the purpose of training camp. They would go away from families. I remember when the Seahawks used to train over in Cheney, Washington, when it was super hot. It was on the campus of Eastern Washington. They were dormed up like they were back in college. And that's what they did. They decluttered the mind and they got ready to go ahead with the season ahead. And so then again, back to your house, the deferred maintenance. You got to clean things up. Just like a team, you got to clean things up in practice. And then you need to get your house ready to go. This is when it happens. You cannot, unless you only lived there for a week and had very few possessions and there's going to be staging, you really cannot just go on the market in 5 days. You need to take your time and you need to game prep. That's what's going on. And you're going to have everybody you need. And a good realtor is going to have a list of contractors that are going to help you do that, whether it be yard maintenance, painting. If you want to get the electrical box restored or some wiring redone, those things need permits, but it could definitely be a benefit in the long run. That's if you have really a big long runway to list the house. So there it is. That's the preparation component. Then that is the most important part. So before you go on the market, that preparation, think about it in terms of training camp. What are those NFL coaches doing right now? They're getting their game in order. You get your house in order. And I even thought about it this way. You have your whole NFL team, and then they break up into rooms. Believe it or not, they have defensive room, offensive room. They have interior linemen or offensive linemen, defensive linemen, receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks. Those are the rooms in your house. Really, getting each room straight to be a big part of the whole show. You can't leave one room not attended to. Everything's got to show well and be prepared and be ready for the season ahead. And again, with a house, that is your first week on the MLS. All right. Moving on to the second P after preparation. We did preparation. You can always consult with me if you want. We can get some info to you on the 3 Ps of selling your home. I'll be glad to help you. Now I'm going to drink of water. We got one person on there. I know many, many more. Thousands we'll watch later. So the second part, after we have the preparation, is the pricing. Why? I know I have to have a price for my house, but what does that have to do with the NFL team? Well, the NFL has a cap, $255.4 million this year. It's the highest it's been. It was a $30 million increase. So along the way of training camp, players aren't only being evaluated to make the team, but they're going to be looked at for who's maybe more expensive and performing just a little bit less. So the pricing of the NFL team, they need to be under that cap. They need to fit it all in there. And that when you consider how many guys, 53 now in the official roster plus the practice squad, that's a lot of dough. So they need value where they can find it. And they're going to go through, and we talked about the rooms, right? The position rooms, offense, defense, everything like that. The coaches are going to go through each room and they're going to size it up. Where's the value in each room? What can we add? What can we take out? Where can we get that max dollar amount? It's no different pricing your house. You're going to go through, and whether it's with a realtor or, some people have appraisals before pre-appraisal before they even think about going on the market, but you're going to go through and you're going to get an appropriate value for your home. And that price, what you're going to pay for an NFL team, that price that you come up with is what someone else is going to pay for your house. So there you have it. You have the NFL team assessing value, putting value in all the rooms, the position rooms. You're going through your home and you're putting in value on what you've done. There's a market analysis that your realtor can provide. You go through, those are a dime a dozen. You really have to go through and put the value on every little room, every little position that's in there. And what are you going to have the value at? So the price of the NFL team, the price of your house, that's the big thing, because there's a high cost in overpricing, and there's a high cost in the NFL for paying too much for maybe older players or people that don't deliver. So if you overprice, this is a crazy stat. In the Northwest, we're going back to talking about homes right now. Homes that are more than 5% overpriced based on recent relevant sales stay on the market longer and have a much higher chance of not selling. If a team is overpaying for a player that's not delivering, then they're out of that money. And it's hard to get rid of that. So you want to hit it just right. They want to hit the salary cap just right. You want to hit your sales price just right. So there's a lot to consider. The rooms, the different values that an NFL team sees in all its positions is also the different rooms, different values that you need to see in your pricing of your home, hitting the price right on to maybe make it competitive, to hopefully make it competitive and get you more than maybe you think you should get. That is the way to go. So everything plays an opinion. Plays a role. Market movement, the current market analysis, home buying and selling stats, as well as price opinions from brokers in the area. I know I get those. You want all that to factor into what that price will be on the home, and all those opinions to go to the NFL team. Those are all the coaches chiming in on what should be the value. So you see what the parallels here. It's crazy. The preparation and then the pricing. You have to really take a good look at where the value is, how you're going to play it, and how much money you're going to invest if you're an NFL team, and how much money you want to charge for your home if you're a home seller. So there is that comparison. So the 3 Ps continue on with the NFL team as well as the home sales. Okay, so this is my favorite one, is the presentation. So you've done all your preparation on the home. There's been a lot of work. You've had contractors come in. We have the place looking spiffy. It looks great. You're ready to go. It's been staged. It's cleaned. You're going to go away on a long weekend vacation to maximize any showing times, and it's ready to present. Same thing with the NFL team. They've gone their preparation. They've put everything together. They're ready to present to the world. There's only one opening weekend. There's only one opening weekend of the NFL season. There's only one time to make that first impression. And that's how you need to look at that first weekend on the MLS, when you have open houses, brokers opens, twilight open houses, all those things. That goes into, I got it. How about those hands? The last P, presentation. There it is. Some notes to myself right there. So, one thing I want to talk about is you want as many eyeballs on your home when it goes on online. So what does that include? It doesn't just include MLS and professional pictures. You need professional pictures. Do not take iPhone photos. Just don't. You need professional video, drone video, especially if you live on a large lot or somewhere out in the country, or it's rural. People want a general idea. So much work and research goes in by buyers into a listing that you want to give them as much information as possible to get them out to your property to fall in love with it. And you have all of that, and you need as many eyeballs as possible. And you want to be in prime time. Prime time is your opening weekend. And consider this: primetime games in the NFL, those are the big ones. No one's competing against it. Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. Those games get more technical coverage, more technical perks, shall you say, than maybe the average game in the afternoon. So the gimbal, there's a gimbal that is in the end zone attached to a camera guy that goes and gets all those great shots on Sunday nights. You don't see those in the 1 o'clock game or the 10 o'clock game. They're not putting as much into that. It's not prime time. So the presentation, you got to think prime time. Everything you do has to be made for prime time and the presentation. Yes, you want to be Monday Night Football. You want to be Sunday Night Football. And you only get that one shot to make that first impression, because no matter how hard you try, week 2 is just not going to have the same feel as week 1. And that's what we're all looking for. Whether you're selling a home or you're an NFL coach putting together a team, you want to do all the preparation. You want to figure out the money component when it comes to your price. What's it going to cost you, or what are you going to ask for as far as the sales price goes? You do all the research. You see where the value is. You have that appropriate amount. And then finally, the presentation. You want to be prime time. You want as many eyeballs on your home as possible. And you want to lead to a quick transaction that's clean, with a great buyer on the other side, great agents working together, getting things done. So there you have it. It's my little pep talk, if you will, for the football season ahead. I'm excited for football up there. You see it right there, Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree right there. That's me on that night of the NFC Championship down at the time. I think it was Questfield at the time. I don't know who had the naming rights, but I was thinking when that ball was in the air, as for when the Seahawks went and won Super Bowl 48 in New York, when that ball was in the air right there at that moment, I'm like, this is going to be a really crappy night or a really great night. And the tip happened, and we need the statue for that down at the football field. Richard Sherman, one of my favorites. So there you have it. Preparation, price, presentation. This is my game plan. You want to list at home with me? This is what we're doing. We're going to get ready for the NFL season, get ready for prime time, because that's what we do. The 3 Ps. Enjoy football season. You know who to call if you need anything when it comes to real estate, buying or selling. Reach out. All my info is in the comments below. Hope you have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care.